Greetings, community. It's Kevin of Entropy and Comics, and I'm here to bring you a whole new show. One that I hope you appreciate, hope you'll grow to love, and hopefully I can do on a regular basis. That is the ultimate goal. But to get right to it, people talk about a bunch of other shows that spec most, sought after, top five picks, whatever. I'm going to bring you today what I call my most anticipated reads, or I'm a physical prop kind of guy. Kevin's most anticipated reads. I know there's an acronym in here somewhere. Just can't figure one out. If you see one, go ahead and drop it in the chat, and I'll make serious consideration because it probably sounds a lot better than this long name. Let's get right to it. So my most anticipated reads for tomorrow are first starting it off with Berserker. Berserker number 9. Now we're 3/4 of the way into this thing. I was really anticipating this thing, even though it had a high um, copy count and all that. I didn't care. I was looking forward to reading this book. I really wanted to read this story. I already knew what about a third of it was about. I was given privilege to some of this, and I love what was going on between what Keanu and Matt were doing with this writing and how the story was being depicted. I was digging it, both artistically. Um, um, Even the vocabulary that's being used in there, it's not too thick. It gets right to the chase. It doesn't dumb you down as an ID. What I mean by that is it's an awesome read. I can't wait to get my hands a hold of this thing tomorrow. And I've been loving this thing. I think the only problem I'm going to have is after this year of it being a series, I'm not looking forward to it going away. So hopefully it'll do something after that. So that's Berserker number 9 coming out tomorrow. Also coming out tomorrow, Kanto number 1. Now Kanto, it started 3 years ago. Released, I believe it was June 22nd, and it was that inspired my son and I to go ahead and start a little channel called 1-2 Comic Talk. And the first artist, writer, initially it was the writer and artist that we then asked to be on our show for an interview was Drew and David Boer. David Boer kindly said yes to our interview, and we loved not only how the story is being told, but the richness of the art, how much it tugged at your heart. It was just so much to appreciate, and such a vast world of comics that it was a nice place to go to amongst the array and spectrum of titles that are out there. So I am looking forward to Kanto number 1, the last of the series. It ends in these final issues after this 3-year long journey. To you, David and Drew, thank you very much. And yeah, I look forward to picking this up and getting my hands onto yet another great story. DC versus Vampire Killers. This is a one shot, and I've been like in and out of how I feel about the DC versus Vampire thing. Initially, I was loving it, and then I wasn't digging it at all. I didn't get very far into the actual story, and then I've been hearing it's been pretty good. I have the other one shot, the what was that, the Vampire Hunters, and I flipped through that. I haven't actually got to read all the way through it, unfortunately, but I loved it. I was like, wow, this is cool. I can't wait to read this thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'll be back into trying to get the whole series, but I'm looking forward to reading this tomorrow. So that's DC versus Vampire Killers one shot. From Image, we have another great book by Mr. James Tynion. Department of Truth was a book that I knew from, again, one of those privileged things that I got my hands on first couple of issues, and I love the concept. I was really taken back by some of the similarities of some of the tropes in which that we've seen in different stories, but how it was able to twist those, so it kept you guessing what was going to happen next. And that's what I really liked. It wasn't that some of the things that I felt comfortable reading because it seemed like it was things I read before, as much as it took those similarities, it took those things that I felt comfortable reading and then turned them on their head to where Now I'm always waiting for that next turn. And I'm just in the back seat, I guess, with a 5-point harness going, I have no idea what's coming up next. And I'm loving that. So again, Department of Truth, number 19, another one of my most anticipated reads. Godzilla, best of Godzilla one shot. It's Godzilla. It's Godzilla. Mindset, number 1. Now, this is a story by Zach Kaplan. I dig Zach's work. When he gets into stories like this, I really melt into the reading of it. I find myself in these places. I kind of have to remember to look around and remember that I'm not in this place, that I'm just reading a thing and I'm not as immersed as I'm allowing myself to be because of his writing. And the art that I little bit that I had seen looks great. I don't have enough to really make any type of judgment from, so I won't. What I will say is the writing on this story and what the overall story is like a tech geek learns learns about mind control, and in his good nature and for the betterment of humankind, he is trying to create an app, from my impression, to allow people to go ahead and shed some of these unwanted and undesired aspects of our mind that get controlled or manipulated or conditioned. So that's what this is about. As we read many times, it doesn't always work out the way we want, and that's what we're going to get into. Which, again, the story is Mindset by Kaplan. Issue number 1 coming out tomorrow. Vault Comics. Robin, number 15. I the first 6 issues of Robin, I was really digging, and then it got a little odd, and then it got awesome. And then by, what was it, 11, I was like, okay, I'm done. It got kind of cool again. 14, it was all right. I was told that 17 ends it, so now I'm sticking on board. I've been saying I've been looking for a reason to jump off, and now that every issue has been coming out has been, in my opinion, a good read, I'm now anticipating these next books coming out because I know it's coming to its end. So I'm curious on how they're going to wrap this up. So Robin, number 15, 7 Secrets, number 18. This is a Tom Taylor book. I am digging what he's doing on this. Of my 2 favorite adventure fighting type of saving the world type of vastly massive world-ending consequence type stories, this is one of them. 7 Secrets and Firepower are probably one of my two most anticipated reads when they come out, of that genre and style of reading. I dig them. I really like Eastern philosophy stuff, or even, the idea of going to removing yourself from familiarity and putting yourself into an unknown to condition yourself and then better yourself and find out that, sometimes it's not for the right reasons. And that's what we get with the story, that there is so much going on. I can't really even start to get into even a small piece of this story. It is a lot of action, but there's a lot of story that goes along with it, and neither one are bogged down by the other. My recommendation is, please go get yourself the trades, catch up, and then start picking these things up, because you'll end up finding, like myself, that these are some of the greatest reads out there right now. Again, 7 Secrets, number 18, coming out tomorrow. That's Wednesday, 9th? Where are we at? What day is it? 29th. So this is going to be an interesting one. Venom, this one and the next one following. Venom Lethal Protector has been able to take me back to basically the 90s, the early 90s. I cannot tell you how much fun I've had to be able to jump back into some of my later teen years, early 20s, and these stories. And being that some of the original writers of some of the original Venom stories are writing these stories, it has a true feeling of like me being 30 years back in the past. I'm digging this. I look forward to reading a modern book that takes me back to yesteryear as opposed to just buying a yesteryear's book and trying to remember my childhood. So this definitely goes on one of my most anticipated reads for tomorrow. Wannabes. Wannabes is a Scout Comics book about, I think it's three kids that are trying to be superheroes, and they're not. They're just regular people, and the harsh reality of being a vigilante in a real world hits them hard. Literally. I am looking forward to this in the most, I guess, like a hit girl type of way. So this looks really interesting. I can't wait. And what's the furthest place from here? Issue number 7. This originally started out as a story about music and a group of people that are trying to keep themselves alive in a post-apocalyptic world where these odd creatures are out there, I guess, exposed to what transpired. I'm not going to get too heavy into that, but really mess up the planet. And it was more focusing on a story that it didn't even get close from its origins, even though they're still trying to track a particular person. They did find a particular person, and now they're trying to figure out essentially how to get back. Even though their back is not even the same, I'm sure, what they left. It's been a very unique tale. I want to say by individuals that are not really super well known in the industry, outside of the fact that they've been in the industry for a while. I've been enjoying the story. It's been very unique, both in the storytelling and especially in the art. I can't tell you how much I've been enjoying this, as much as, again, it's on my most anticipated reads. I appreciate you being here, Ken. Thank you. And the final, which I will call, I don't know, what would you call a most anticipated read for tomorrow top pick? What would you so if this is I'm sure you can find an acronym in there somewhere. Let's call this the Blue Light Special. How about that? We'll call my most anticipated read tomorrow the Blue Light Special. And my most anticipated read, or the Blue Light Special, is Iron Cat. Iron Cat #1 is coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a 5-issue miniseries. She debuted in the Iron Man suit back in Iron Cat #11. Um, that was freaking awesome. I am a huge Iron Cat fan. I thought its brief, how should I say, both introduction and its brief setting and small amount of storytelling carrying on in issue 12 was that all we are going to see of that armored suit. The fact that they're doing a 5-issue miniseries on one of my favorite characters, along with a neat augmentation of that character, meaning Black Cat turning to Iron Cat, I can't tell you how much I'm anticipating this. This is my most anticipated read. I am so excited for this thing. I got every single cover coming. I love the 1 in 50 as far as the art is concerned. The 1 in 10 looks cool as far as the concept design is concerned. I have no idea. I've not been privy to any of the story other than some of the excerpts that everyone's seen out there, as far as, you know, the small amount of info that's been given to everybody on what this story's about. That being said, I am just chomping on the bit. We're only hours away from New Comic Book Day. I think if I am lucky, I might be able to get me my hands on something by this midnight Eastern time. And yeah, it should be awesome. So my most anticipated read, or Kevin's most anticipated read for tomorrow, and the Blue Light Special pick is Iron Cat. And if you watch this all the way through, which Ken, I appreciate you being here for the majority of which, and if you haven't already, fine, and sub love rules. That's it for me, Entropy. And I appreciate you being here on my first show of my most anticipated picks for tomorrow. Thank you and take care. And I look to see you very soon. Bye.